our topic is going to be empowering teachers and ensuring agency while using digital technologies. We will dive deep into how we can equip our teachers to take ownership of the digital tools and transform their classrooms. This panel will explore how we can build teacher competency and digital agency and ensure that they are not just using technology, but they're also mastering it. So it's going to be about turning tools into transformative experiences for our students. So let's welcome our stellar lineup of speakers for this session. I'm going to start with Dr. Amina Charania, a thought leader from CETE, who will also be moderating this discussion with her deep expertise in digital pedagogies. Welcome, Dr. Amina. Followed by, I'd like to call Mr. Shoiab Dar, director at PyJam, who's creating a new wave of tech-savvy educators. I would love to listen to him. Yes, Mr. Dar, please join us. Thank you so much. And next we have Shri Sunil Bajaj, Joint Director, SCERT Haryana, who has championed innovative teaching methodologies at the grassroots levels. Next, I would love to call upon Ms. Uma Kogekar, CEO of CEQUE, that is, whose work has empowered thousands of teachers in undeserved areas in India. Welcome, Ms. Kogekar. Love to have you on the panel. Next, I'd like to call on Dr. Trisha Sen, Head of Academics at Aga Khan Educational Services, who brings a wealth of experience in innovative curriculum design to the table. Welcome. Welcome, Dr. Sen. And last but not the least on this panel, I'd like to call Dr. Keerti Sharma, who's the Head of Curriculum and Academics at Bharti Airtel Foundation, whose expertise bridges education and technology seamlessly. So now with this panel, let us see how we can go from chalk and talk to click and connect. Dr. Amina, the stage is all yours.
Since morning, we have been discussing about teachers and digital technologies. So I hope this session will throw more light, bring more new perspectives, and maybe consolidate this topic in a wider sense. To start with, I would just do a very quick context building and then let a very diverse and wonderful panel to speak about their experiences. I think we have also been talking about since morning about access to infrastructure. We heard from Haryana, we heard from just one state, but we have someone from Maharashtra also today who will also come as a special appearance in this panel and talk a little bit about it. When it comes to digital technologies and teachers, teacher agency is what we emphasize. And I think this term is not very well articulated and understood. So just to clarify that when we talk about digital agency, what we mean by digital agency is teachers' competence to use digital technologies and integrate within curriculum. Not only competence, but teachers' confidence and also teachers' ethical consideration, responsibility, accountability of using technology in the classroom. And very importantly in agency, which is very important component, is teachers' autonomy. When to use technology and when not to use, and what kind of technology. The freedom that the teacher has to use it. So this is what we mean by teacher agency. We've also looked at digital technologies and teachers through UNESCO framework. So UNESCO framework talks about, which is for AI and digital technologies, 3 levels. One is when teacher acquires this competency. The second is the teacher is able to go deeper into knowledge using technologies. So that means the teacher is able to use technologies using very constructive pedagogies where the teacher is able to make connection to knowledge with students' real lives. So it's a second level. The third level that UNESCO framework is talking about, teacher is able to create with technologies, not only teacher creating, but enabling students to create. And I think in our experiences and research, what we have found is most of the teacher competence and training has been about acquisition of digital competence and using it in subjects. So it's very difficult to understand the teacher preparation moving into second and the third level. And not necessarily because UNESCO has given these levels, we have to move linearly. You can start with the third level and then come back to the first level. But that will be the beauty of the design of a teacher educator. So I'll just stop here and I will start with our first question. We have a diverse panel and they come from very different context into how they are working with teachers. And the first question that we will all focus on is, what is their approach, their organization approach to prepare teachers to integrate digital technologies or use digital technologies for teacher education or teacher reflection or empowerment? So we'll start with Shoaib, and if you can throw some light around it.
Thanks, Amina. Our focus essentially is building thinking skills, right from design thinking, computational thinking, and now AI thinking. And of course, technology plays a role, but it's not an end-all. How do we build these skills and use technology in alignment with these fundamental skills is what we try and impart to our students and through our programs. This may range from scenario-based learning where there are no computers, where it's pure logic, problem solving, to using block-based programming tools, to hands-on stuff. So that's the variety of learning that happens essentially. And of course, it happens across different contexts, different levels. We work with system partners, whether it's diets, SCERT, or sometimes more focused groups. So that's the spectrum of work. But the fundamental idea is to get kids to create, to get kids to solve problems. And to do that, how do you need equipped teachers to be able to enable that? And I think the level shifts drastically when you're talking about teachers. And before sort of getting into what are the competencies teachers need to be able to create an environment like that where they can teach problem solving to their kids, I think it's for us to figure out how do we create that environment for teachers. So it's a lot of how can we get them to think about solving problems? How can we get them to think about a lot of biases that they might have? So for example, till now they've been teaching concepts or maths aise padhana hai. When you translate that from a thinking lens, it becomes different. Now when it becomes more relatable for a teacher is when, of course, they pick it up. But it's a lot of how that context is framed around them. And there are a lot of layers that add to that. Is it a training that is supported by the leadership at multiple levels? So a lot of other factors sort of play in, but that's broadly the scope of the work that we entail. Yeah.
Thanks, Shoaib. I think that's great that the training for integrating digital technology is also taking a little bit of holistic perspective on pedagogies, because sometimes we also see in schools that different companies come with devices. So I think teachers sometimes tell us in interviews that we did Microsoft training, we did Google training, and they all gave us the devices, and we are very happy. But then what we ask is that, don't you get confused? You are getting trainings from 3 different companies. And what do you do with all these devices and different programs? And they are, no, we like the devices, but then finally we do what we want. So I think that is also a great achievement, that they are able to consolidate and then use what they want. But not all teachers may be able to extract that and then use that autonomy that I have the devices, you've given me the training, thank you very much, and now I will decide what to do. So I think that itself needs a lot of empowerment and confidence. So I think trainings related to overall pedagogies could actually touch on that and not just giving them how to use this program that we are putting in the school. So we'll go to our second, Mr. Sunil Bajaj. I think we've heard so much from Haryana now, and the 6 lakh or the 8 lakh tabs, and you have so much infrastructure. Could you throw a little bit light on how do you prepare teachers on using so much of great infrastructure that you have put in your schools?
Thank you. My friend already mentioned a lot of things. I just want to share that in 2007, Haryana was the first state to introduce EduSet program, and in around 240 schools, there was interactive channel in 2007. So at that time, we started preparing e-content, and we had around 1,200 senior secondary schools where we installed DTH. So, and also then primary schools, all primary schools were given a DTH connection. So we are working with the technology since 2007 onwards. As my friend already shared that providing infrastructure was done with by the government, but maintaining that or keeping that alive, that was a challenge for us. And now in this age, now that EduSet almost we have stopped the intervention. Now the new intervention also came up. After that, as you also mentioned, that we distributed tabs. We also provided around 95% schools with smart boards. So teachers are having autonomy to use what the content they develop, whatever they collect, they have autonomy to use the smart board independently. During Corona period, lot of intervention were made, and many teachers started YouTube channels also. That was a great moment when teachers, those who were not knowing how to prepare e-content, started preparing content. So this is the journey that we have gone through. And then there comes in, after Corona, there was Diksha intervention. And Haryana has put a lot of effort in working with Diksha. We have provided lot of e-content on Diksha portal. One intervention we made was Prashnavali. We created assessment, means we prepared question banks, and those were available on Diksha portal, and teachers were having the autonomy to select the question and prepare the question paper for the unit test or other test also. So this was one of the intervention which is now, as NEP is also mentioning that we should work on it, and we are working now. We have started preparing question bank for each class, each subject also. And they are now available on website, and teacher can select and choose their question paper from those question banks. As far as teacher training is concerned, and our diets, those who are district institutes where all training needs have been taken care, we have developed one Prashikshak portal. And now it is working for the last 6 months. On this Prashikshak portal, for every training, they have to report attendance, then pre-test and the post-test, and feedback of day-to-day, whatever is dealt with them, that Prashikshak portal is providing us. So this portal has been created by SCERT, where we are looking into how training is going on and what are the feedback and what is the further step we can take. Training need assessment, that is also the tool, as we have created different platforms, whether WhatsApp groups and Google Sheets also, where we collect training need assessment. And then we prepare the next year training plan. We are now working with, now because training is going on for the last many years, we are not going to impact much more using those training. So one more initiative which we started is MOOC courses, where teacher can, those who are interested, that is not compulsory for all, those interested teacher according to choice of their topic, they can start. We have prepared 3 MOOC courses right now with the school leaders and for teachers also, and e-content development also. And one more for school leader for how to know about the rules and regulation of the financial rules, civil rules, other rules. So that also MOOC course we have started working with it. Because teachers, they are directly coming to administration, not knowing much rules. There is no proper training for them. So that MOOC course we have created. There are many other initiatives where now e-content has made a change. As my friend was talking about, the content we have already through tabs, we have already given content, but day-to-day basis, we are sharing content which is prepared by the teacher. We have prepared around 240 mentors, and they are creators as well as reviewers. And e-content has been created by the teachers. And now the intervention is using Plio. There is a intervention that the video will stop unless you answer one question in that. It will not move forward unless you answer the question. So this kind of intervention is also not any technical form we have involved. All teachers have been trained. We thank to NCERT, which we built the capacity of our mentors, and then mentors are making of teachers. Around 1,200 teachers are now working for developing the e-content. So teachers are now learning how to prepare e-content using different softwares also they are using. Another intervention we are making is, we are now monthly, there is a STEM munch. Maths and science teachers, they are shown through live classes, 1 or 2 activities for maths and 1 or 2 activities for science. Then teacher, when they perform in the classroom, that feedback then working, the video they upload on our Diksha portal. And that is also taken care of. How they are performing in the classroom, what is the students' responses, all that report they submit on that portal.
So I think you have so many interventions. It's not only for students, it's not only infrastructure, but also teacher preparation. I think you have so many programs.
Yeah.
So I think here everyone should be convinced to do a visit in Haryana to not only see the classroom, but also your teacher training.
Right now, we have also engaged our teacher. We have MOU with TIS. There are 4 courses run by TIS. So we have 8,000 teachers, 2,000 English, Maths, Science, and Social Science. They will do online course of 2 credit course, teaching of mathematics, teaching of science. So that also we have started, and now the teachers, the mentors have done that course, and now after mentor, now teacher will do those courses online.
That's great. Thank you so much, Mr. Sunil. I think the mentoring concept is also something that nationally it has been picked up, and now they are also moving towards a mentoring platform. So
Yeah,
I think
mentoring you're talking about, we have a mentoring app, Samiksha app. We have around 1,500 ABRC and BRP. There is mandatory visits to schools, 4 visits per month they have to visit. And diet faculty also visit. So they report on that app, and that app we take the feedback as well, and they take some instruction, and in the next visit, then they follow up also that. So that is also going on.
exciting. Thank you so much. We'll move to Uma here, who has a little bit of different way of using digital technologies. Uma, would you like to speak about?
Yeah, thank you, Amina. So at Center for Equity and Quality in Universal Education, we work with government school teachers to improve their teaching practices and to make them more child-centric so that every student is learning. So the way we use technology is we use it as a tool to help teachers to reflect on their own practice. So what we do is we have videos of best, we have classroom videos of best practices that are, that are done in the classrooms of these teachers by teachers around. The teachers use these videos as best classroom practices to reflect upon what they have done well, what they can improve on, and what are the challenges that they're facing in the classroom, and how they can collaboratively come up with solutions. The way we do that is to coach the teachers first on what is it that I'm going to reflect on, how do I reflect on what I'm seeing on a video, and then how do I analyze the classroom transaction, how do I identify what exactly is the problem of learning, what exactly is the learning the learning challenge in the classroom, and then what are the steps that I need to take to improve the the way that I'm teaching in the classroom. So the NEP tells us that the teachers also have to demand for training, right? But how do the teachers demand for training if they don't know what they need? How do I know what I need training for? Do I need to be trained on how to use Microsoft Word, or do I need to be trained on using any of the latest tech tool, or do I need to actually request that I need to be trained? So I can put a request to the DIET, to the BRC, to the CRC that I need training on a particular pedagogical aspect. But how do I identify whether I need that training? I can only identify if I have learned how I can reflect on my own practice. So that is where we are using these videos of best classroom practices, which are again filmed in the classrooms of these teachers. So it's a platform for teachers, by teachers. It's free and it's open source. It's available for everyone. The second approach that we are taking, and we are very excited about working on it, is that when we work with the teachers and we help them to reflect on their practice, we are actually giving them personalized feedback. And the teachers that we work with are in all remote rural areas in Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, and in Karnataka. So these are really, really teachers located in remote tribal blocks and so on. So we are reaching to these teachers and we are saying that, okay, look at this video of your own classroom practice and let's together figure out where it is that you need to improve. But clearly if we had to scale this solution, and also give personalized feedback, this is where today we are collaborating to use AI to give feedback to the teachers, personalized feedback to the teachers. So we've actually partnered with a university in Netherlands to do this. So what happens is that a teacher, even if I'm a teacher in a remote rural area, I at least have a mobile phone with a video. If I can record myself teaching, and whatever it is, I might be teaching using OER resources, I might be teaching using Smartboard, whatever I'm teaching, right? Whatever is the lesson, whatever is the concept that I'm teaching, whatever is the way that I'm teaching, if I'm able to record that and put it into a tool that gives me personalized feedback on how can I improve student engagement, how can I improve the classroom learning environment, how might I use these classroom technology tools better so that the students are actually learning. So this is the kind of approach we have taken towards using tech to empowering teachers.
Thank you so much, Uma. Yeah, I think that self-reflection and teacher using video technologies is very unique but very useful and helpful. So I think this is a very different way of using technology but still very, very powerful. Thanks. We'll come to Trisha now. Trisha, Trisha, you are heading the academic section of Aga Khan Schools, and I understand that you have also recently started using a lot of digital technology slowly. How do you prepare your teachers, and what are your biggest worries about training teachers?
Thank you, Amina. So just to give a context before I start answering your question of how we're using technology and what are some of the challenges. So Aga Khan Education Service India, as you know, is part of the global AKDN network. So we have 200 plus countries where 200 plus schools where we work with schools. And these are countries especially in Asia and Africa, East Africa. And in Aga Khan Education Service India, our universe is focusing on 3 states in Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Telangana. And they cater to 5 different curriculums. We have 2 national curriculum schools, and we also cater to the state curriculum schools as well. And like all schools across the planet, during COVID, of course, we were forced to adopt technology. And overnight, teachers were gradually getting comfortable, conducting classes on Microsoft Teams, using Zoom, and then using various apps for children. Now, once post-COVID, we realized that, a lot of effort, a lot of teacher training had happened. So why should we lose this whole technology integration in education? We shouldn't lose this. So post-COVID, what we started doing was we had what we call EdTech trolleys. So each trolley has 20 laptops and, basis the number of students in a school and the number of floors, we started, investing in these trolleys. And these trolleys can either be kind of put into a classroom, or if there's limited space, they're kind of kept outside the classroom. And I should add here that our demographics are, there's a big range. We have schools in big cities like Mumbai and Hyderabad, but we also have our schools in interior parts of Gujarat, like places like Chitrawad, which is near the Gir forest. So these kind of trolleys were put in place. Now the big challenge, as you can imagine, is ki chalo, theek hai, as somebody mentioned in our previous panel, tablet to pakda diya, laptop to de diya, but how do you motivate teachers to kind of use technology and use it meaningfully? So we have this concept of common lesson plans, which we use across the network of our schools. And we have a core team of teachers from the network who create these lesson plans. So again, referring to something which came up, I think, in one of the previous panels, that how do you involve teachers? It shouldn't be that, it's not my lesson plan. So this is a core team from the network. Of course, they are guided by our subject matter experts. And they integrate technology. So if it's a history lesson or an English lesson, or a math or science lesson, how can we meaningfully integrate technology? So that's one way of doing it, through the common lesson plans. The second critical part, as you've mentioned, Amina, is the professional development. So we do spend a lot of time, and we do invest a lot in professional development of our 300 plus teachers, where we have annual training programs, we have school-based training. And another very effective way of professional development for us is co-teaching, where it's not enough to kind of just, tell teachers away from their classrooms that, do this is how you can integrate technology. But if a subject matter expert can co-teach with the teachers in the classroom, showing that, this is, for example, how we can use our laptops to do simulations in a biology class, or use GeoGebra in our math class, or, use, for example, the laptops where we use quizzes or Kahoots, where you can, in a very interesting, engaging way, assess children immediately. So when you're doing your check for understanding, you can immediately see, are the kids getting the concept or not? So this is how we've kind of tried to integrate technology through PD, as I said, through the lesson plans which integrate technology. But since you did ask, Amina, the challenges, of course, there are multiple challenges. And the big thing which I think came up in the previous panel is, as well, was the whole pedagogy part of it. That how do you change your style of teaching and learning? So for example, if you want to do project-based learning, how do you use the laptop and some app to help you in that? If you want to foster collaboration in small group work, large group work, how do you use technology? And that's where we still find that there are miles to go in terms of, how do we train our teachers? So even at the central office level, where we have our subject matter experts, they may be experts, including myself, in certain areas, but we still haven't mastered how to integrate technology, in a meaningful manner, so that students are ultimately learning better, and, as I think Shoaib, you mentioned, collaborating and problem solving. So I think that piece is still to be cracked. Thank you.
Thanks. I'm glad you pointed out that, because that's the next level of knowledge deepening with different pedagogies. I think since a lot of educators and teachers are looking for technologies and how to use it for this more constructive or student-centered pedagogies, I think there is a whole universe of teachers in our data with government schools. They are very happy with video-based technologies. So I think we as educators use these words like project-based, problem-based, constructivist. I think what teachers in our data are saying is, clarity of concepts. If my students have clarity of concepts and this video-based technology is giving that, I'm very happy. Thank you for doing that. And also what we have found is that a pedagogy which is more directive teaching is what the teacher is used to. And if the technology supports that pedagogy, the teachers are very happy. And now you're asking them to come out of their comfort zone and do project-based, problem-based, and do it with technology. So it's just too much of newness for them. So, and that's what sustained. If the technology is non-intimidating, if it is simple, if it is aligning with their current pedagogy, the teachers, and it's giving clarity of concepts, they are very happy. So I think it's a gradual process. We would not settle for that, but I think we have to acknowledge that this is what teachers want and this is what technology can give them. And within that, what else can you add slowly? So I think that's something that we have been also thinking, but we'll come to Keerti with your, with Bharti Foundation and your history of teacher app, if you would also like to share a little bit on this topic, yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Amina. I think a great moment that I would like to share that yesterday only we had a formal launch of the teacher app, which is a non-commercial platform for all the teachers. Noticing at Bharti Airtel Foundation, we run our own schools as well as we partner with state government, and we basically focus on the teacher training aspect, wherein it is very important for us, like you mentioned, the clarity of concepts that teachers always keep talking about, a regular continuous teacher training and mentoring, which is a regular feature of our program, to enable, because the children that come into the foundation schools are completely from underserved community. They come from a very rural background, and most of them are first generation learners. So, and the teachers also come from the same background. They also come from the rural background. So apart from, providing them technology, providing them the infrastructure, providing them the training on that, we also majorly focus on the continuous, rigorous coaching and mentoring. So we have a team on field who are visiting, who are doing the class demonstrations, who are helping teachers co-teach using the technology. So that is something we really, really focus on. And with the introduction of the Teachers app, I think what we want to bring in together is when teachers keep talking about the clarity of concept, the Teacher app deals with a lot of misconceptions that happen in the classroom. So if you go to the app and see the courses that there are, self-paced courses there are for teachers, there are short videos that talk majorly about misconceptions, there are Sunday polls, there are quizzes, there are projects for teachers, so webinars, a lot of things keep happening where continuous monitoring and mentoring is happening for the teachers. In fact, having said that, I also believe that too much of this technology, given to the fact that teachers are also very novice when they come to school, especially coming from the rural background, they also don't have a lot of exposure to these technologies as in the cities, teachers who are in cities. I would also say that, a lot of in-classroom practice with the teachers have helped us. Apart from teacher training and coaching, we also have a tool wherein the entire data, Padma Shri talked a lot about data harnessing, a lot of data, not only talking about the numbers, but also talking about the delta of improvement of the teachers, wherein teacher need analysis, training need analysis is done, and then taken forward for training. So that's what we do at Bharti Airtel Foundation.
Thank you so much. I think I'll just put a second question, which is also leading to our discussion, but this will be like a quick round. If you would like to just maybe say in 2 to 3 sentences, maybe starting from Shoaib, if you have to give advice to whoever is doing teacher training with digital technologies, what should they not do with teachers?
I think I've been a teacher for 2 years, but that experience still doesn't even compare to what it would feel like spending decades in a classroom. So I'm not sure if I'm the best person, but whatever little we've sort of picked up from our experience on ground, I could perhaps share. I think one is design with them, not for them, because it's a very different context. Election duties, delayed salaries, to so many other factors, exacerbating factors that impact a teacher's mindset. A lot of us develop tools, technologies, etc. How many of us make sure teachers are part of that design process? So take UX, for example. How should an app interface be designed? Especially if it's teachers going to use it. How many of us actually ask or make sure teachers are part of that design process? I think second is also tied to the autonomy piece you spoke about. There is no other way. I think that question of should teachers be given autonomy shouldn't even exist, because just the definition of a teacher enabling learning, right, entails that they're free to use whatever they can to make sure they reach that outcome, the class reaches there. How can you do that? Perhaps I could share an example, right? So when we're doing learning spaces, or when we're engaging teachers, how can you extract knowledge? How can you extract practices from what's already happening? A lot of us come with a prescriptive mindset of maybe that's not the right pedagogical approach. But there are bits and pieces there. There is absolutely something right that every teacher is doing. How can you take that, extract that from a space? How can you learn from them? And within those four walls of that training space, right, how can that really be fun and engaging for them? The other is also incentivize. So in our case, because we don't teach subjects through technology, right? So there's no pressure of itne marks lane hai. The pro to that is that means creative freedom hai. Now, every teacher knows if kids enjoy that experience, happier classroom, they're going to want to come more. You're going to feel better as a teacher. So that's the upside of that. When you lift away that outcome of, this is where you need to take your kids, that sometimes results in something amazing. I guess these are a few things I can share. Thanks.
Should not do when they are preparing teachers for technology? One or two things, yeah.
That is one thing, that the training should be in blended mode.
Should be.
That means if you are going to have any expert in code and it's an online session, it's going on, then at least 15 to 20 people may be sitting at one place, and one mentor should be with them to look into what the doubts, whatever after the session, there can be a discussion on that. And there are many things, because if online session is going on, teacher may not be attentive or anything that may be happen. So if one mentor is there who is talking about, who is listening to the expert and then talking with the teachers and discussing a lot later on after whatever the question, the doubts they had. And also training, as far as training is concerned, we can make small short videos how to use technology that we are doing in Haryana. That whenever we make some new initiative, we make 5 to 10 minutes small video on YouTube, and we share that how to use particular, suppose smart board, suppose some another initiative, any other initiative there. So we make small videos and then. And third initiative that we have done is MOOC courses. Now they are now free to do whenever they want to. These are the three.
So you're
things.
saying flexibility, time, and what also blended so that they are not left by themselves is what you're saying. Okay, thanks. Yeah, Uma.
So one of the things which I would say is what we don't do while doing teacher training is only focus on how to use a particular tool. And there are a number of tools. There are productivity tools such as the Kahoot that you mentioned, right? What we need to focus on is training the teachers on creating learning tasks that result in meaningful learning. So for example, if I have trained teachers in using, let's say, Kahoot, right? The teachers can pick it up very quickly. Most teachers now have become tech savvy, so they can pick it up quickly. But when must I use this tool? When and what are the kinds of questions that I have to create where I'm going to get an opinion poll, for example, or if I use a tool like Padlet, which is like a digital bulletin board, what kind of learning tasks must I create using these tools which allow the children to do critical thinking, collaboration, and so on. So the training has to focus on creation of learning tasks that lead to meaningful learning, because the number of tools that are there in the market which are available, I mean, they increase exponentially every year. I've had, in my experience of 15 years in the sector, I have almost gone through 2,500 tools. And I have worked with over 3,000 teachers. In our organization, we are working with 3,000 teachers currently. And what we found is even the greatest of tools, the teachers can master, but that does not necessarily lead to learning of children. So the teacher, and even if you co-create a video, it does not lead to learning. You have to be able to empower the teachers that what are the questions you are going to ask using this tool and the concept that you want to clarify, which is actually going to lead to the learning of children. So, so if I had to give advice, I would say that don't focus on the tool. Focus on, what it is that you're going to create as a learning experience for the children, and what is it that is going to finally tell you that the child has learned.
Yeah? Sure. That's well said. Thanks.
Can you repeat your question again? Because I know we're talking about a lot of things, but you want us to focus on what we should not be doing, right?
When preparing teachers, yeah.
Yeah. So when it comes to, and I'm going to answer it in a little bit of a roundabout way. So we all know the research shows us, and even our own experiences, teacher beliefs are the hardest to change. I've been a middle school's social studies teacher. I believed that essay padhana hai, this is what is going to engage my children, and especially the biggest motivation for a child is when your classroom is engaged. If they are learning in a particular way, I'm going to repeat that again and again and again. So for the tech piece, and again I'm going to refer to what was discussed in the previous panel, when is a teacher motivated to use EdTech? When they see that by using EdTech, my child is getting clarity of concept, is more engaged in my assessments at the end of the year or in the middle of the year, they are showing that they have understood the concept. That's what's going to convince me, right? So I would say autonomy, obviously. I mean, you can't force a teacher to do anything. One shouldn't. But we should not stop from educating our teachers about the possibilities of technology and showing them in a very concrete manner, as you said, Amina. We can't throw big words out there. We need to show them exactly in a particular subject, in a particular grade level, technology ke madhyam se, the learning outcome is being met. More than a majority of my children are engaged in the classroom. So once we show that, and the research shows that as well, right? Once we're able to show that through, I give examples of what we're doing through our common lesson plans, which are created by the teachers, through co-teaching, then the aha moment happens in the mind of a teacher, right? Oh, okay, I can do this differently. I was using the textbook, as somebody mentioned in the earlier, the blackboard, the textbook. But if I use this particular app, or if I can, have these children working on a Google document and they're co-creating a particular document, that it's enhancing collaboration. They're going on the internet, they're able to research, they're able to think on their own. If that happens, then the teacher is convinced that, okay, this is how I need to use it. But at this point of time, my experience of working with teachers for over 25 years now, unless teachers see it in a simple manner happening in their classroom, they are not going to be convinced. And that's what needs to be our focus of our PD, that show them how, break it down into very simple blocks. This is how you can use technology in a 40-minute period to teach, say, fraction grade 4. Okay, let me try doing it. Yes, my kids are actually more engaged. They're learning fractions better. Then the change happens. And that's what I think autonomy is all about. Give the teachers the freedom to select how they want to teach their children. right? But the PD has to be there as well. If we don't expose them to technology, how it can be used, demonstrate it in their classroom, the change doesn't happen. Yeah, that's what I believe in, and that's what we're seeing in our classrooms as well.
Thanks. Yeah.
Completely aligned, I think, and the same approach we also follow, that one size never fits all. You know, every teacher is different and their needs are different. So, especially whenever we look at the training or courses, you know, telling teachers to do one course, all the teachers, does not help. Because, you know, pedagogy taken in pre-primary, primary, or middle or senior are very different for the same subjects. So I think that is one thing that we shouldn't do. We should give that autonomy to the teachers, of course. And of course, they should be allowed to, modulate the content they are watching or the way they are using according to even the cultural fitment, where the schools are, what kind of languages are being used in the classroom. So I think that is one thing that I always support, that, you know, one size never fits all. So let's give that opportunity to teachers to learn their own way.
Yeah, I think that's well said too. I think we are looking at not only technology, but pedagogy and curriculum. And now the recent research is also looking at teachers' knowledge of context is very important. So it's not only pedagogy, curriculum, but how much the knowledge the teacher has about context of the school and the context of where their students are coming from. And then align technology and pedagogy and content together. So I think that's very fascinating to see research focusing on student and school context when using technology. So with this, thank you so much. We will just watch a small video, because on our panel, we do not have any representation of teachers. And we couldn't bring these teachers. Of course, we have teachers from Mumbai who are here, but we will just spend 2 minutes of watching a video. If the video is not ready, I can, okay. So this is just listening about what teachers feel about teacher professional development that they are getting compared to what we have discussed now.
पिछले सालों में मैंने बहुत सारी एजुकेशन की ट्रेनिंग्स ली हैं, जैसे AR VR कोर्सेज किया है मैंने, और वहाँ से मुझे गेम्स किस तरीके से डेवलप करना है और वो बच्चों को किस तरीके से उस कंटेंट से जोड़ना है, किस तरीके से मैं उसको डेवलप करके और बच्चों के बीच में लेकर जा सकूं। तो ये पहला एक टेक्नोलॉजी जो मैंने सीखा है, जो मेरी रही है पीछे टेक्नोलॉजी के ऊपर मेरी ट्रेनिंग, तो ये सबसे ज़्यादा इम्पैक्टफुल रही है।
2017 में गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से, वेस्ट बंगाल गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से एक ट्रेनिंग हुआ था जो टाटा ट्रस्ट ऑफ सोशल साइंस की तरफ से था, जो था कंस्ट्रक्टिव टीचिंग एंड लर्निंग विद टेक्नोलॉजी। तो इस ट्रेनिंग के बाद से हम लोग अपने बच्चों के साथ बहुत सारे ऐप और बहुत सारे ऐप बना के हम लोग उसका यूज कर रहे थे, टेक्नोलॉजी का, जिसको हम लोग फ्लिप्ड क्लासरूम की तरह यूज कर रहे थे। जो रेडीमेड अगर हम लोग को दिया जाए, जिस तरह का रेडीमेड प्रोजेक्ट, रेडीमेड क्वेश्चन या रेडीमेड लेसन प्लान का है, तो उसमें क्या होता है, जो टीचर है वो बंद हो जाते हैं, दे कैन नॉट डू एनीथिंग इन फ्री वे। तो ये जो जिस तरह का हम लोग टेक्नोलॉजी यूज कर रहे हैं क्लासरूम में, उसमें हम लोग को पहले डिफरेंट ये सोचना पड़ता है कि ये जो फ्लिप्ड क्लासरूम है उसको किस तरह से इंट्रोड्यूस करें।
जी, टीचर की ट्रेनिंग में टीचर को फुल फ्लैश तो एक प्रोजेक्ट जरूर मिलना चाहिए, जिससे जिसने जितना भी सीखा है वो अपनी तरीके से उसके अंदर उस चीज को करके दिखाए। एक चैलेंज जरूर टीचर के पास आना चाहिए, जिससे कि जो उसने अपने क्लासरूम में वर्क कर रखा है उसका आउटपुट वो लेकर आए। जो चैलेंजेस वो वहाँ पर बियर करता है, उस चैलेंजेस को कैसे मीट करेगा आफ्टर द ट्रेनिंग।
तो जहाँ तक मेरा मानना है कि इस तरह का जो ट्रेनिंग है सभी टीचरों को होना चाहिए, जहाँ पे स्टूडेंट टीचर को फ्रीडम मिले कि अपना हिसाब से वो टेक्नोलॉजी का इस्तेमाल करके बेटर बच्चों को दे सकें। जिसमें हाँ बच्चों का बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग हो, दे कैन लर्न समथिंग न्यू, टेक्नोलॉजी का इस्तेमाल करके दे आल्सो थिंक कि हम लोग वो टेक्नोलॉजी खुद से भी बना सकते हैं.
Okay. We just wanted to bring teachers' perspective, and I think it's not very different than what we are talking, so that's great. I think these teachers have gone through a lot of professional development, which was overall and not only looking at one technology. With this, I think we will open for one or two questions, but I would like to give first opportunity to the joint director from Maharashtra, Deputy SCERT, Manisha Pawar. If she can speak a little bit about her perspective, then we can take one question from the audience. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I have joining this conference on behalf of SCERT Director Dr. Rahul Rekhavar sir, and I am here presenting SCERT. So I would like to share here that SCERT, which is conducting training, all trainings are need-based training. Need analysis is done before planning and conducting training, and we are not giving some separate training of technology, but technology is incorporated. It is integrated part of routine training. Means how to use technology, what should be the how should be the digital class, how a teacher can use technology in his daily day-to-day teaching learning activities and meaningful learning of students, and the training is given to teachers, and this technology is an integrated part of this training. Also, one Google Classroom training was also special. This training was given to all teachers in Maharashtra, and just like Uma Kogekar madam was there, that Pratima ma'am was talking about data and how to use data. That initiative has SCERT has taken that initiative with CEQUE Foundation. Uma Kogekar was jointly working with SCERT, and we have done how to use data, different types of data for the betterment of students. Assessment tool, how to use assessment, means evaluation process as for assessment of students and as well as teachers. Not only students, but that is more mainly focus on teachers' performance. So that is all, and there are many initiatives before COVID, during COVID, and after COVID. After COVID, there are actual training mode is most of the hybrid mode. There are many trainings which are conducted as a video interactive training, and what I feel is, see, the classroom should be like this. It should engage students and in an interactive way. Not only just they are passive listeners, they are watching just videos. It should not be like that. Students should be very interactive, and there should some challenges. They should some perform some activities when the technology is used in teaching learning activities. So our teachers should be enabled to use technology by proper means and ways. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Are there any questions? We can take one question. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I am really amazed at this conversation because since morning we've been talking about technology as if it's the magic wand, and we are going to move it around, and education will be high quality, high scale. So we are somehow thinking of digital technologies as the one-stop solution, but I think technologies are enablers, and somehow we also have to think about, and as ma'am just said, any solution that we are talking about empowering teachers has to factor in high tech, low-tech and no-tech solutions, because the students are also coming into the classrooms for socialization. So my question is to all the enlightened panelists and administrators in this room, that why is it that the teachers are unable to keep pace and cope with all this technology that we are throwing their way, and how and what steps are you all taking to make their lives easier so that they can do what they have signed up for doing, which is teaching and not administrative work? And how are we enabling them to actually leverage these digital technologies in the right way and the spirit of what we are talking about here?
Hi, thank you for that question. Absolutely, I think what you're referring to is that are we enabling our teachers, or are we bombarding our teachers with too much and they are overwhelmed? So at Aga Khan Education Service India, as I said earlier, it's all about integrating it gradually. So as I said, you know, when teachers are coming together and working on those curriculum documents, those lesson plans for any subject, any grade, they're looking at easy ways to integrate technology. And I think I gave some examples of, right, you know, for example, if it's a biology class, there are some simulations that they use. You know, for example, the other day I was observing a classroom, and this grade 5 teacher, he's an amazing science teacher. He could have done a fantastic job without technology also, but because the laptops are in the classroom, they could do a kind of 3D model of the spinal cord. And the children found it fascinating because, you know, it's just so interesting. And then, as I said, when he was checking for understanding, he was able to use Kahoots and quizzes and stuff like those kind of apps, and immediately know, you know, what percentage of my class has actually understood the concept so that I can move on. But this requires step-by-step support, right? And which means that be it at our level where we are dev sector, and of course we're always trying to figure out economical ways of doing things, but even at the government level, that how do we support our teachers? Technology to dal diya classroom mein, but you have to come up with a very well thought of plan of professional development. And as we've been saying, and as you have said also, from a no tech, low tech, high tech, and you have to assess where the teachers are at, what they're able to absorb, and then gradually kind of with all that scaffolding, help them, you know, implement some basic technology to begin with, and then of course do more fancy things like, you know, collaboration on a Google document and research and all that. They have to be comfortable, right? And you have to take them step by step. And this means continuous professional development. It can't happen once a year or twice a year. You have to have, so in our schools we have tech mentors as well. So you have to identify a lot of, you know, pardon my being ageist here, but younger teachers sometimes in the school are more comfortable taking risks and are more comfortable with technology. So make them, you know, empower them, give them training. They become tech mentors to the teachers who are fearful of technology, and a lot of teachers are. And then gradually with scaffolding introduce. But as I said earlier when I was talking about the aha moment, unless teachers see that this is something I can do and it's going to make a difference to my children, they're not going to adopt it. So I think that is what teacher training and teacher professional development is all about. Make teachers see that they're able to do it, help them, support them through tech mentors, co-teaching, what have you, and show them that the child is learning more. The student in their classroom is more engaged, the learning outcome is being met, they're understanding the concept, and then I think teachers will over time, you know, adopt technology. But it has to be a very thought through plan, and as you said also,
Trisha
one glove does not fit all.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going on. And on.
No, you've covered. I'm saying Trisha has covered 360 very well. Since time is up, I think we can take this discussion even at tea time, and we'll restrict to this one question only. I'll just add a little bit because I'm just taking the advantage of being the moderator, that it's not only the teacher preparation which was the focus of this, but it's also the pre-service teacher when you train them. So I think a lot of our students are here in TIS, and we give at least 4 to 6 credits of technology integration when they are doing their B.Ed, Bachelor of Education. And there we actually let them use technology, fail with technology, experience the challenge, and we also tell them, why are you using technology in this lesson plan? Do you think it's valuable? You could have done this on the chart paper. Why is technology value? Aren't you wasting your time and your students? So we bring them into that critical thinking so that they are very much, they take that decision and they learn how to make decisions. We'll end the session here, but one line, okay.
There is an autonomy to teacher. We have smart board in every classroom, but there is an autonomy. Not compulsory that you will use smart board.
Thank you so much. But I think we can take the discussion at the tea time, if it's the next, yeah, and we will end the session here. Thank you so much for the wonderful discussion.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, panelists. So isn't it very interesting that from the blackboard, we moved to the whiteboard. From the whiteboard, we moved to, let's say, learning portals, and now we've gone all in all digital. And all of these transformations that all of us had, all the teachers have had to go through, they actually do show us that we are on the right path. And with panelists like this, well, the future is in good hands, isn't it? Thank you so much, panelists. To felicitate this panelist, may I please call Surya Tirtha Ray, please, if you could come up on stage, and we will thank our panelists for joining us and sharing such amazing insights. Being a trainer myself, I've been through this entire journey too, so yeah, totally valuable. Come on, everybody. Round of applause for our panelists. Yeah. So to felicitate, first we'll start with Dr. Amina. Thank you so much. In the meanwhile, can I please call Ms. Manisha Pawar also to come on stage? Thank you, thank you. Next, we'll felicitate Mr. Shoiab Dar. Thank you so much for joining us for the panel discussion. Next, we'll go to Shri Sunil Bajaj. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's time to refuel, isn't it? Thank you, Ms. Uma Kogekar. We'd like to felicitate you next. Thank you so much for joining the panel. Dr. Trisha Sen, please, everybody. Round of applause. Thank you, Dr. Sen. Dr. Keerti Sharma, please, next. Thank you so much, Dr. Sharma, for joining us in our panel. And we'd also like to felicitate Ms. Manisha Pawar. Thank you, Ms. Pawar, for joining us. May I please call the panelists to please come upstage so we could click a picture, a group picture.